back to the Between Sundays podcast, a Christian podcast that explores the gospel message and encourages holding God's word close to your heart between Sundays. We are back together. Both of us are here today. Really excited for this. We are getting ready to start, as promised, our first big Bible study, a book of the Bible that we both feel like we refer back to a lot. We hope that you will enjoy it. We're going to be in the book of James. We're going to be starting the book of James, and through the next couple episodes, going through the entire book of it. So, looking forward to it.
This was, just before we get into it, and while you're turning there, this was like the first full book of the Bible I read while being serious about Jesus. Like, this was one of the first books we did together. Mm-hmm. And something about the book of James, like every verse you could pretty much highlight and pull points from. And so we decided to split this up into multiple different parts across the multiple different chapters. There's only 5 chapters, but we decided to make it more than 5 parts because there's just so much rich text in here. And we decided that, we could pull the same amount of information from a little piece of text. Yeah. And so we're not going to rob you guys. We're not going to rob ourselves of any blessings here. So James 1 we're going to touch on verse 1, and then we're going to go down to verse 18. If you're there, I guess we can go ahead and just jump right in.
Yeah. James 1, verse 1 says, James, a servant of God and of the Lord Jesus Christ, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. Greeting, my brethren, count it all joy when you fall into divers temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience, but let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Let the brother of low degree rejoice in that he is exalted, but the rich in that he is made low, because as the flower of the grass he shall pass away. For the sun is no sooner risen with a burning heat, but it withereth the grass, and the flower thereof falleth, and the grace of the fashion of it perisheth. So also shall the rich man fade away in his ways. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God. For God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man. Let no man, I just read that, sorry. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. Do not err, my beloved brethren. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, and cometh down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. Of his own will begat he us with the word of truth, that we should be a kind of firstfruits of his creatures. Okay, so we had talked about starting off with just the author and the audience of the book of James. So I'm sure if you've paid attention in any sort of Bible study, Sunday school class, anything like that, you probably know who James is, but he's the half-brother of Jesus. He was Mary and Joseph's son, but he's the half-brother of Jesus, and he is writing to, it says to the 12 tribes throughout the earth, but me and Ryland kind of talked about it, of being God's people in the battlefield of sin. Like, the book of James, I love it, and me and my dad talk about it quite a bit, of like, one minute you're reading and you're like, man, like I'm doing good, like I feel good about myself, and then the next minute it's like it's cutting you down because you need some help here. And so James writes this as like a encouraging, but also a here's some places we need to work type of letter to these people.
Okay, well, sorry there. We had a little bit of technical difficulties. I think we're back recording. The first point that I really have here, and I think when we go through this, we're just going to kind of talk to each other and then kind of bring out some points, just like we do on a daily basis. Because again, I think a lot of stuff comes out of these conversations that some of you might like to hear that I enjoy. So the first point I kind of have is that trials test endurance, and in those trials, like, the Lord is not absent. I'm reading out of a different translation than Nathan. I always have to make that a disclaimer. But my text says, consider great joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you experience various trials, because you know that the testing of your faith produces endurance. And when I think of endurance, me being an athlete and me being a sports fan, I think naturally of stamina in sports. I think of athletic endurance.
Yeah.
I used to run track, and I hated running, but I was good at it. And something we used to do a lot at practice is these ladders. It was called a ladder drill. And so you would run, for all my track people, they probably know what that is. You would run 100 meter, 200 meters, 400 meters, 800 meters, and then you would work your way back down. And so that ultimately helped you build your endurance in running. And so when I think of that, and if I had went through that experience, if I had went through those warm-up drills, and if I had went through those ladders, and I had not realized that that was helping me build endurance, then my mindset probably would have been trash. My mindset would have been, why am I doing this? My mindset would have been, I hate this so much. And I didn't like it, but I knew that it was making me a better runner. And so I think when we go through spiritual testings, we go through these seasons of strife, these seasons of struggle. And we're recording this right in the midst of the holiday season. The holiday season can actually be quite hard for a lot of people, like especially after, they lose a loved one, or they just broke up with a loved one, that kind of thing. When you go through these seasons of strife and struggle, if you have this mindset of, this is not doing anything except making me feel bad. If we have that mindset, we're not going to go anywhere with it. Just like I said, if I had the mindset that this ladder drill is not doing anything for my running ability, then I would not have been better because of it. Then I would have had the complete wrong mindset, and I probably would have applied myself like my mindset. But if we apply ourselves with this understanding of, this is testing my spiritual endurance, and I know the Lord is still there. He might not be talking to me at this moment, but he's still holding my hand. He hasn't left me yet. I think if we go through these times of spiritual testings and spiritual struggles, then we're going to come out on the other side way better than we were to start.
I like what verse 3 says. It says, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. And I think that that goes along really well with what Ryland just said, of that, when those struggles come, when the hard times come, it's not that the Lord's punishing you. It's that he's putting you. I think of pottery. I don't know if anybody's ever made any pottery, but one of the big major steps in pottery is you have to throw it in the fire. You got to put it in the fire so it can cure. I don't know the exact term. The kiln, yeah, that thing. You got to put it in the kiln and let it get hot. And sometimes, I feel like a lot of us out there are probably spiritually mature enough to realize, hey, it's not always a bed of roses. Being a Christian is not always the easiest thing in the world. Walking a Christian life is not the easiest thing in the world. There's going to be times where it's literally man, it's 9,000 degrees and it's the middle of December. What the heck's going on? And, you just got to realize that it's not God punishing you. It's God saying, hey, I want, like Ryland was saying, hey, I've coached track before. I did ladder drills all the time with my kids. And it wasn't that I wanted to see them suffer on that last 100. I wanted to see them push through that last 100 with so much speed, because, man, they realize, hey, I can still do this. I can still make it to the end here.
Exactly.
And I think that's one thing that we kind of get twisted in our minds when it comes to living a Christian life, is that, the Lord's angry with us, and that's why he's doing these things to us. No, the Lord just wants to see what you'll do. The Lord wants to see, hey, how is this person gonna act whenever this is put in front of them? Are they still gonna choose me, or are they gonna choose something else? Are they gonna go a different way?
Exactly. And that could kind of lead into this next point. You can't doubt and believe at the same time. So that was the first little section we just talked about there, verses 2 through 4. Now jumping into about verses 5 through 7, where it talks about, if any of you lacks wisdom, ask God and it will be given to you. But then in verse 7, it says that person should not expect to receive anything from the Lord, being double-minded. You can't doubt that the Lord is going to, if you ask the Lord for something, you can't doubt that he's going to give it to you. I think when we were going over this, Nathan kind of talked about, you can't have a backup plan behind God. you can't have your backup quarterback on the bench ready to go.
Yeah.
Like, no, like the Lord's got to be your ride or die.
Yeah.
And you're not going to die with the Lord. Like, like
You'll be fine.
it's simple.
Yeah.
But like, you can't doubt the Lord and his ability and yet believe that he's going to work in your life.
Yeah.
Because that's literally the definition of being lukewarm.
Yeah.
And you would be unstable in your ways of walking as a Christian.
Yeah. And I think that, like, I have a note written down above verse 5 in my Bible. It says, if we lack it, ask for it. Like, a lot of the times we don't get things from God because we just kind of expect him to dump it out on us. And, you know, we're like, well, God, why aren't you moving in my life in this way? You know, God, you know I'm struggling with this. Why don't you help me with it? A lot of the times he's not helping you with it because you're not asking him to help. He's not going to force himself out there to you. He's not going to be like, hey, well, I'm going to, like, SWAT team kick the door down and, you know, come take over and, you know, you don't have to worry about your life anymore. No, he wants you to come to him and say, hey, God, it's me again. I need some help with this. And it doesn't matter if it's the first time. It doesn't matter if it's the 500th time you've asked him to help you with whatever. He's still going to help you. And all he wants you to do is ask. That's it. And I think, again, like I said, like 2 minutes ago, it feels like, we get it screwed up in our minds that when the Lord puts us through something, he's punishing us. No, when the Lord puts us through something, he wants us to go to him and say, can you help me make it through this? Help me make this through. Help me make it through this. Help me do it.
Yeah.
And that's all he wants from us. That's it. And then, like Ryland said, he talked about being lukewarm. I think it might have been my grandpa years ago who always talked about straddling the fence. Like, you can straddle the fence for so long. You can play on both sides of the fence. You can run with the world and you can run with the Lord for a while, but eventually you'll come to a fence post. I don't know if anybody knows anything about fencing, but it's pretty hard to stand on either side of a fence with a fence post coming up because you're going to have to go one way or the other. And like Ryland said, you know, you can't go into something with the Lord with having, well, if this doesn't work, this is what I'll do in your mind. It doesn't work like that. The Lord will not work like that. The Lord's not going to just say, oh, well, yeah, Nathan, you know better than I do. Right? Sometimes, again, I'm going to harp on this because I feel like that's kind of what we're going through. I don't think we said the title of this episode, but it's Trials and Maturity. And one of the biggest steps of being a mature Christian is realizing that you are not in control. You are not. It's not your plan. It's not your ideas. It's the Lord's ideas and the Lord's plan just pushed out through you. And so, you know, we get caught. I get caught sometimes. I've been doing this Christian life thing, for lack of a better term. I've been doing this for 18 years. 18 years. And I still sometimes will go, hey, God, you sit in the passenger seat for this one. I got it. I got this one. You don't have to do this one. I can do it. And then I look back after I get done with that, and it's been a total train wreck. And I'm like, dude, what the heck happened? What did I do? Why did I ever think that I was smarter than the guy who made the entire universe? Why did I ever think that? And again, that's where I show my spiritual immaturity. Because I'm like, you know, I can be better than God. I can do better than him. But I can't. And I think we all know that. We just we crave control. That's my thing, I think.
Yeah. I mean, we're all going to fall victim to that at some point. Like, nobody's perfect. We're all going to take control. And I think that's naturally what humans are made to do, is take control, especially in these social situations. Yeah. A saying I've heard is, if you want it done right, do it yourself. Like, no.
Yeah.
If you want it done right, let the Lord do it.
Yeah.
Let the one who made you, made this entire earth that you live on, made every single thing that's around you, let him do it.
Yeah.
And it's not like, again, we talk about, it doesn't mean he's absent.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going to call on him and he's going to leave you in voicemail. He's going to say, hey, sorry, I'm doing this right now. I'll get back to you. Yeah. You handle it for a little bit and I'll get back to you. It's like, and he's always going to pick up.
Yeah.
And he's probably going to pick up right as soon as you call. He is going to pick up right as soon as you call. If all you got to do is call on him.
Yeah.
And he's going to come down here and help you.
Yeah. And again, like, well, I have written down here, we made a whole notes sheet of things we wanted to talk about, and then we've strayed away from it. But one point that I do want to bring out is that, you know, we don't need to waste our trials. I think it was Ryland that's, again, we sit down right before we record these to kind of not script out everything we want to say, but kind of walk through our notes again to make sure, hey, we're where we need to be. And so one of the points that Ryland brought out was that we don't need to waste our trials. When we go through something,
Verse 11, it says
That's
that,
verse 11, yes.
for the sun rises and together with the scorching wind dries up the grass, its flower falls off, and its beautiful appearance perishes. In the same way, the rich person will wither away while pursuing his activities.
There we go. So we don't need to waste our trials. We don't need to waste the things that God puts us through. Because if we're just going to go half-hearted through whatever the Lord's putting us through, it's not, again, I go back to he's not putting us through those things to punish us. He's putting us through those things to teach us. So that way when we come out on the other side of it, we're better than we were.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm a teacher. Y'all know this. I talk about it all the time. I don't give my students tests because I hate them.
Right.
I give my students tests to see what they know and see how they'll react to things.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord does the same thing. The Lord gives you something so to see how you'll react and to see what you will do. To see, oh, well, I remember this season of my life when I went through something similar, I can apply it here. I can apply it right there. I've been reading through such and such book. I know that it says this, and I know it says, hey, when this comes up in your life, this is what you need to do. So go do it.
Right.
Go do it.
I'm an athlete, and I've used the track analogy, but I'm also an active basketball player. And it's kind of been hard because this is my first year on the varsity team. It's a step up. Obviously, it's a step up, but it's been interesting to see like the comparison between this, don't waste your trials, and basketball practice.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I were to go into basketball practice and like the coach, he's a little bit hard on us. He runs us to perfection pretty much. He makes us do all these drills, and he's not doing it because he hates us. He's doing it because he wants us to get better individually, and he wants us to get better as a team. And so if I were to go into practice and do all these drills, do them half-heartedly,
Mm-hmm.
do them with a grudge in my heart saying, bah humbug, this is not making me better. This is stupid. Why am I here? If I were to go in with that mindset, if I were to go in and waste every single practice in March when our season ends, I'm not going to be a better player.
Yeah.
I might be a worse player because, hey, I haven't seen action on the court, but I also haven't been working hard in practice.
Mm-hmm.
I've been wasting practices. I've been wasting these drills and these trials, and I haven't come out as a better player.
Yeah.
And luckily, thank Jesus that I haven't done that. I've gone into practice with a good mindset, and I've done everything wholeheartedly.
Mm-hmm.
And I have not wasted my trials. I have not wasted the opportunities I'm given.
Yeah.
I have become a better player in 2 months' time that we've been playing. And I assume that 3 months down the line when we're done playing, I'm going to be a better player than I am right now. I am already a better player than I was then, and I'm going to continue to get better. And I think it's the same way in spiritual endurance. Like if we go into these trials, again, we talk about this mindset thing and this spiritual maturity. Again, that's the title of it. If we waste our trials, if we go through these things, and it ties back into the first part of this section with this sucks, this stinks, why am I here? This is horrible.
Yeah.
We're going to waste it. Yeah. And we're not going to grow spiritually. But if we go through these things saying, I know the Lord is doing something. I don't know what it is. He hasn't revealed it to me. I know he's not absent, but he's trying to teach me something. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to be open-minded. I'm going to endure whatever's going on, and that's going to build me up to be a better follower of Christ.
Yeah. And I think that, like, alluding to Ryland's point of, how do I act during practice, right? Like I said, I was a coach for a couple years, and my athletes who practiced hard, I usually trusted them more. I trusted them more because I was like, well, they'll be ready. I coach track, so they'll be ready when it comes to the meet. But my athletes who goofed off, like they were the world's, for a middle schooler, they were the most gifted athlete I think I've seen in a long time. But they never did anything at practice. So when it came time for the meets, I didn't trust them. I was like, they're not going to be ready. They're not going to be. But the kids that worked and the kids that did the things that they needed to do, by the time we got to the first meet, they were ready. And I think that, looking at it from, well, if I'm putting in the effort at practice, then maybe when I get put in the game, the coach will trust me more to do something with it, right? And that's the same way the Lord works, right? Well, I'm putting in the work right now, right? I'm not really being put through a test right now. I'm not. But I'm still reading. I'm still praying every day. I'm still seeking the Lord in everything. So that way, when a trial does come my way and I do get some game time and I do get some action, I'm ready. I know what to do. I know who to go to. I know again, hey, we talk about sports. I know how to run our offense. I know what's going on. I'm not standing out there going, I don't know what I'm doing. I know how to act. I know how to live. I know how to. I think Ryland last night brought up the point of like, well, you're an athlete, so act like it. You're a Christian, so act like it. Don't just go into a trial going, I've never seen this before. I don't know what to do. Not every trial is going to be the exact same, but at the same time, it's all there for one reason, and that's to teach you something. So if you go into it with the mindset of, this is here to teach me something. And again, like Ryland alluded to, you're probably not going to figure out right off the jump what it's trying to teach you. But 6 months down the line, a year down the line, 12 years down the line, sometime in your life, the Lord's going to say, hey, you remember that time you went through that? Yeah, this is what I was trying to teach you. This is what I was trying to get at. Now, if you're like me, it might be the most inconvenient time for you. I assume that's how I look at it sometimes. It's like, man, what the heck am I going through? And then the Lord smacks me with it, and he's like, here's why you're going through this, dude. Here's what's going on in your life. Here's what I'm trying to teach you. And I'm like, looking at it, yeah, that makes so much sense now. That makes so much more sense than just suffering through for no reason.
Right.
I think we forget sometimes that in the end, I don't know if you've ever read the end of the Bible, right? But go flip over to Revelation. We win if you've never read that. I'll just spoil the ending for you. We win. And I think sometimes we forget that. I think we forget that we end up winning. We just kind of suffer through because we have to. And I think that that kind of throws into this next point of the Lord chose us, so why are we not choosing him? We'll be put through a test, we'll be put through something, and we act like the world would act through it, for lack of a better term. We just kind of meddle through it. We drop our head, we forget who we are, we forget to pick up our Bible, we forget to go to church. I say forget, but we're actively choosing to not go. We go through something, and our first resort is to withdraw from everything we've ever been taught, right? You find, and I hope I'm not being mean when I say this, but you find spiritually immature people, the second that the Lord tests them with something, or the second that the Lord puts something on them to strengthen their faith, the first thing they want to do is run. The first thing they want to do is run from it. That's the number one sign of spiritual immaturity. When the Lord puts you through something, stand there and take it. Stand there and learn from it. I mean, it's going to happen. This Christian life, I said it at the very beginning, this Christian life is not a bed of roses. This Christian life is not easy. But it's even harder when you're spiritually immature, because you're just running for no reason.
And now you nailed it. And then we're getting down towards the end here. I thought it was interesting how in verses 13 through 15, really, it talks about that the Lord doesn't tempt. It's our own fleshful desires. But then it says, it tells us that the life of sin, it gives us the life of sin, and that sin seemingly does have a life. But each person is tempted when he's drawn away and enticed by his own evil desire. I think your Bible said lust.
Yeah.
Like they have a lust for their own evil desires. They have a craving for it. But then after that desire is conceived, after it's come to fruition, in a sense, it's finally reached you in the core of where you are, and your brain starts to think, this might be a good thing. Then that's when it turns to sin. After the desire is conceived, then it gives birth to sin. And then when sin is fully grown, it gives birth to death.
Yeah.
So it's a 3-stage life, pretty much. The desire, the birth to sin, and then sin growing up into death.
Yeah.
And so one of the points I think we had was the life of sin is as long as you make it.
Yeah.
Right? Like as soon as we feel that desire to sin, if we just crucify it, if we say, hey, God, I got this desire to sin, and I know it's not you tempting me. I know it's my own fleshful desire wanting to go against myself.
Yeah.
But just take it away from me, Lord. It's not worth it in the grand scheme of things. It's not going to leave me in a better place. Just take it off of my plate. And he will.
Yeah.
Again, he's not absent. He's not going to say, nah, I want you to sin right now. No. There's a difference. I think people read this and they they sin, and then they think, what is God trying to teach me out of this sin? It's
yeah.
completely different.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It is completely different.
Yeah.
But when we're tempted to sin, just pray to the Lord.
Yeah.
Rebuke Satan in Jesus' name. Again, we talk about, spoiler alert, we've already won.
Yeah.
We're fighting from this place of victory.
Yeah.
So use it. Like, use your platform that you've been built on. Use the word of God that's in front of you.
Yeah.
Again, I think one of the points we talked about was like, yeah, the life of sin might be short, but the prayer to end the life of sin is shorter.
It's even shorter than that. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's a simple prayer. It's a 5-second prayer if you want it to be.
Yeah.
Satan, I rebuke you in Jesus' name.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you got to say.
Yeah. And then the hardest part of that is really applying that. Is not, the prayer is not the hard part. The prayer is the easy part of it. You can pray that prayer, but then it becomes on you to actually want that to happen. Mm-hmm. Again, right, we go back to what verse 8 says of like, don't be double-minded. Don't doubt the Lord, but trust him at the same time. Don't be like, you know what, God, hey, I don't want to sin right now, but also, hey, that sin looks really good. Mm-hmm. Like, don't fall victim to it. Mm-hmm. Don't let it creep in. Mm-hmm. And if you know, hey, that whenever I get around a certain group of people, I'm more likely to act like that. I'm more likely to do those things. Easy fix to it. Don't get around those people.
Right.
Don't put yourself in situations where you know, hey, I'm gonna sin right here. I'm going to. Actively choosing sin. Again, we talked about all these signs of spiritual immaturity. That's another one. Actively choosing sin is a sign of spiritual immaturity. Mm-hmm. If you're willingly and consciously going, I know that when I walk into Walmart, I'm going to walk by whatever, and I'm going to have an impure thought. I'm going to do something that I know I shouldn't do. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to go to Walmart, and I'm going to walk right down that aisle. How much sense does that make?
Right.
How much sense does that make?
Right.
It doesn't. And I think, again, are we choosing the life of sin, or are we choosing the life of God? Are we choosing the things that we know we should be choosing, mm-hmm. or are we choosing the things that we're like, well, this makes me feel good for about 30 seconds? I mean, because I don't know if you're like me, and I assume Ryland's probably the same way, but like when I sin, I feel good for about 10 seconds. And then after that, I'm like,
what the
dang
heck?
It, what did I do?
Yeah.
Why did I do that? Why did I say that? Why did I think that? Why did that thought come to my mind? Why did I let that happen? Mm-hmm. And it's like, you know, the second or the moment that we don't have that anymore, then I feel that we've grown too far from the Lord. We've walked so far from him, right? The Lord's never moving. The Lord's never leaving you. You're the one that walks away. Mm-hmm. You walk away from him all the time. I mean, if you want to be honest with yourself, and I hope that listening to this, you are taking that step to be honest with yourself of like, hey, I need some help with something. You know, mm-hmm. like, let's listen to these two guys talk about something. I mean, maybe I'll get something from it. Mm-hmm. If you get nothing else, I hope you get that, hey, when you feel like the Lord's walked away from you, it's you that walked away. It's not him. He's standing in the same spot you left him.
Right.
You just got to go to him. Mm-hmm. You just got to call out for him. Again, goes back to verse 5. If you lack it, ask for it. If you lack strength in the Lord, ask for strength from the Lord. Mm-hmm. If you lack self-discipline, ask for self-discipline. All of those things that you're thinking, there's no way that the Lord can work and move through that. No. If you lack it, ask for it. Just say, hey, God, I need this. Help me obtain that. Mm-hmm. And he will.
Yeah.
He will.
I mean, that kind of leads into our last point here. We're running pretty far, but that's all right. I love doing this. In verse 17 and verse 18 is where we're going to close. It says, every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights, who does not change like shifting shadows. By his own choice, he gave us birth by the word of truth. So again, we see this kind of birth of sin, but then there's also the birth of truth. Mm-hmm. And so it's by the Lord's own choice. He chose to give us this option of fleeing from sin and being born again by truth. And so I think we've already touched on it. Are we choosing the life of sin, or are we choosing the life of God? Are we choosing the life of deception and self-corruption and immaturity, or are we choosing the life of godliness, holiness, righteousness, and actual maturity?
Yeah.
And it's a A-B answer. It's a black-white choice. Like, it's not like it's not super detailed. There's no terms and conditions. It's, are you going to choose the life of sin or are you going to choose the life of God?
Yeah.
And you can't be on the fence. We talked about, we can't be on the fence.
No.
It's, you can't reap the benefits. There's no benefits to the life of sin, but you can't reap both sides. You've got to go.
One or the
You've
other.
got to go.
Yeah.
One or the other. And you've got to stand by that.
Well, look, I hope and we hope that you have enjoyed this first part of James.